Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Hoosiers Champions Night 2020. Now please stand for the singing of our national anthem. Here's Sharon Beeman.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Here they come, and they're off in the Dan Patch. Always a Prince is in perfect striking position here for Tetrick. But it's Leatherup who retakes for Teague, and Leatherup wins in a track record equaling time of 1:47.2.
Live from the Dan Patch Studio at Harrah's Hoosier Park Racing and Casino with your hosts, Steve Cross and Peter Lurie.
Hello again, racing fans. Welcome to Harrah's Hoosier Park Racing and Casino for a fantastic Friday night of Hoosiers Champions action. From the announcer's booth, I'm Steve Cross. Joining me down at the Dan Patch Studios is Mr. Peter Lurie. Welcome to Indiana, Peter.
I am so glad to be back, and let me tell you something, I almost feel like I want to just like reach out. Where would I be? Okay, reach out, and wouldn't it be great if my hand just went over and touched you on the shoulder? That would be fabulous. But you know what? We're doing it. We're being safe, as everybody is, and it's going to be a big, big night. I know they're super finals, but this is all about champions.
It is, and this incidentally is the night drive sponsored by Lidfill and Cats Breeding Partnership. So indeed it is all about champions tonight. A 15 race card. This our 89th night of racing action. And this is the night that Emily Gaskin and I have been touting for quite some time, to say the least. And it's a night that the participants have been looking forward to for quite a while.
You know, and what's so fun about this is not only is this a celebration of the Indiana bred, the Indiana sires, but more importantly, there are a lot of horses tonight who have Breeders' Crown aspirations, and I think we're going to see several of them coming back for that big 2 nights.
There's no question in my mind that we'll see some of those Indiana sired horses in the Breeders' Crown again. Of course, those eliminations just next week, 1 week from tonight and tomorrow night, and then of course the big dance at the end of the month. But yes, indeed, we'll see quite a few of the participants tonight in the program that have been nominated to the Breeders' Crown. Whether they'll participate in the eliminations or not remains to be seen, but the initial part has been done. The nominations have been made for those 2 and 3-year-olds and the older horses as well. So tonight it's 2 and 3-year-olds. We also have here in the state of Indiana, we have finals for the older trotters and pacers, and like maybe some other programs in harness racing action, we continue to try to bring those older horses back, pacers and trotters back, to celebrate on this evening.
Well, you know, and that's the thing. We've talked about this before, Steve. What's so important about it, at least for me, not only as a player, but as a fan of the sport, you want to say, let's take care of these horses. Let's keep it going. Let's funnel it into those owners and those breeders who spend so much time, so much heartache to get them to the racetrack, let alone to get them to a big night like this. And I just congratulate Hoosier Park and everyone associated with it for doing this for the breed.
All right, very good. Well, we've got a lot of work cut out here on the night drive here. Let's first go to the weather here. We'll get that out of the way, and then we'll do the changes, and then we'll do some handicapping as well. Let's go to the Storm Track 8 racing forecast as Tara Hastings is standing by with, well, what we can expect on this Hoosier Champions Night.
From Wish TV, your local news source, here's the latest from News 8.
Good afternoon. I'm Storm Track 8 meteorologist Tara Hastings. We are going to see a cooler day at the track today with partly cloudy skies this evening, 57 degrees at 6 o'clock. We'll fall to about 48 degrees at 8 o'clock and into the lower 40s at 10 o'clock. A chilly night tonight with a frost advisory in effect. So download our Storm Track 8 weather app for the latest conditions.
Okay, some interesting tidbits there as far as the weather is concerned. I did hear a possible frost warning could be in effect this evening. One thing that will obviously have to happen is those winds that we see right now out there will have to die down in order for that to happen. That, of course, would be a welcome sight as well. Winds right now are from the south-southwest, about 10 to 15 miles an hour. And, Peter, that's always a little bit of a concern on the long stretches here at Hoosier Park.
No, I understand, and drivers are going to have to play that in because it's going to help some and it's going to hurt a couple, but hopefully it'll still be a very fair night tonight. To give you an idea of what I just came from, I flew in last night. Last night in Southern California, it was 103 degrees, so it was welcome to come in and have that nice cooler temperatures, but I've been here already a day and now I'm like, yeah, I want to go back where it's warm.
I'll take the 57 degrees any day over that over the 100 degrees that you came from. But this is certainly a welcome sight. Not too often that we see sunshine on Hoosier Champions Night. Don't know why that is, but that just seems to be the track record here at Hoosier. So we are certainly going to enjoy the beautiful weather right now. Big crowd expected on hand this evening. Of course, we are continuing the social distancing, and that will be in effect. But I expect to see quite a few people outside of the apron to enjoy the sights and sounds of racing action. If last night was any precursor of what we might see tonight, it could be a big Trace Tetrick kind of a night. He had a big night last night, 6 winners. He won 6 of the 14 races on the program. In fact, between Mr. Tetrick, Brandon Bates, and John DeLong, they won 10 of those 14 races.
And what was more exciting for especially the players, look at the average win price, $14.17. Now, for some of you might say, well, so what? Trust me, if you're averaging $14 for a $2 wager, players are going to be licking their chops for the next night. Unfortunately, I'm seeing a lot of very formful races coming in, but you never know. It could change.
It could, and many times when we have these Hoosier Championships nights, they do look a bit formful. However, with that said, these type of races, when you have $270,000 on the line, it's all left of the track. You can expect aggressive, super aggressive driving tonight. That, of course, could really change things up, and there's no doubt that we'll have some upsets on the program tonight. It's just a matter of trying to figure out where those might happen.
Well, ever since I had the pleasure of watching a horse by the name of Freaky Feet Pete prove that not only he was a formidable foe with the state breds, but proved he could go anywhere he wanted, including the Breeders' Crown up in Woodbine, I realized that, you know what, the Indiana breds are champions, and they're champions to stay. I'm expecting several of the horses tonight not only to win, but I think they're going to be formidable against the best of the best coming up in a couple of weeks.
There's no question in my mind. that is the case. Now, we're going to bring Gabe Pruitt on board as well this evening. You and Mr. Pruitt will be handicapping throughout the course of the evening. So at this time, we're going to take just a brief look. Trying to get my 2 cents in here as well as we'll take a look at the 15 race card this evening. And we kick off the big night in the third race tonight. Incidentally, let's take a look at the changes first. Let's do the changes as there is a scratch in the second half of the double, and that is an Indiana Sire Stakes event for the older trotting mares. Second race of the 2 Custom Cantab has been withdrawn. She is out sick. What a bad night to be sick, as she was the 8-5 morning line favorite. Custom Cantab race 2 has been scratched sick. As a result, there is no superfecta wagering, no supers in the second. Going forward then, the 2 and the 3-year-old super finals this evening, you'll see in your program that they will all have 11, they'll all have 12 horses listed. Now, obviously under the program numbers 11 and 12, you'll see the letters AE, meaning of course also eligible. Should there have been late scratches in the first 10, one of those of the 11 would have moved in first, would have been the first also eligible, and the 12 would have followed suit had there been 2 scratches. Fortunately, for everyone involved in the top 10, there are no changes, no scratches in the 2 and the 3-year-old finals. So races 3, 4, 8, 9, 11, 12, and 13 and 14. You can scratch those 11 and 12 horses, the also eligibles. They will not be participating in the big dance this evening here at Hoosier. We go to the 15th race. There's a scratch in the 15th race as well. Race 15 to 9, Nassau Desire has been scratched sick. So those are the changes here at Hoosier Park this evening. With all that said, we are racing for a little bit of cash this evening. Horses have been in attention much of the day here, and so for the horsemen, those are the backstretch. It's been a long day, and it's going to be a long night as well. But hang in there. We're going to have a lot of fun.
You know, and that's the thing when you're dealing with this and you're getting these horses ready and warm. Obviously, you want them to be on their game, but if they've been sitting there since the 5th and they're going to be in the 14th race, you don't want them to get too keyed up. So a lot of credit goes out to all of the horsemen back there.
One thing that I've noticed in this year's Hoosier Champions Night, some changes, some key changes on different horses, different stables, more than I've ever seen before in recent memory. Drivers that have brought horses to this point and not driving in the championship tonight. We'll see several horses that have been in one stable to this evening. They have now switched stables for tonight. Some of those are tactical moves, some are not, but I don't remember, again, seeing quite this many changes as far as the drivers and the stables like we see this evening.
I'm glad you brought that up because I was thinking about that on several of the horses tonight. But again, a lot of times there's a private sale and they want who they want.
Right.
You know?
Certainly, and of course, so that's just another thing that you need to take into consideration when handicapping the card this evening. We see that right here in the third race, the first $270,000 final. The trio, the Pacing Fillies, as Tim Tetrick hops aboard the 9, Something Beautiful for the very first time. LaWayne Miller has been the regular driver, but Tetrick is aboard, and boy, a tough task this evening from post 9 for a filly that likes to be raced forwardly early on in the race. She's going to have her work cut out. She's 6-5 the morning line, but it's not going to be a cakewalk, in my opinion.
And that's the big thing. I've got this horse on top, as I'm sure a lot of people do.
And rightfully so.
But I agree with you completely. You have to look at this and say this is a horse that doesn't need the lead but wants to be forwardly placed. And if anybody is defensive driving somewhat, that's going to be an issue. But the one thing I think is a massive positive is the name you just mentioned prior, and that's Tim Tetrick. He does a lot of driving, not only in the 5/8 and 7/8, but over at the Meadowlands. He is not a stranger to having to get a horse from the outside to the inside. I defer to him. This horse just seems to be all cylinders, and they're going forward. I still think it's the horse to beat.
And that is why Mr. Tetrick is now in the Harness Racing Hall of Fame, and deservedly so. So again, this filly, she's been drawing well. As you can see it here, the past performance lines, Peter, the last 6, 7, 8 starts or so, she has drawn no worse than post 4. And wouldn't you know it, with all the cookies of the line, she draws post 9 this evening. Again, she's a filly that races well when she's up towards the front. Last week, however, her last start, she raced off the helmet, and she responded, as she has so many times, with a lot of class and flair.
And she also proved, only the Indiana Sire Stakes, obviously, but also that Kentuckiana. But this is the proof is in the pudding.
Right. Right. Let's take a look at that last race. As they approach the 3/4 mile marker, Hot Mess Express, Something Beautiful, together at 3/4 and 125 and 2. And the challenge begins here as they race midway through the stretch. Something Beautiful going right by Hot Mess Express. And down to the inside, GD Rockin' K, now with racing room. To the outside, Something to Me, with less than a 16th to go. Something Beautiful, she's out by 2.5. Something to Me to the outside, and to the inside is GD Rockin' K to the wire. Something Beautiful in 152 and 1. So it was anticipated to be a big matchup at the top of the stretch as the call was made. Did not happen, as Something Beautiful went right up to take the lead and then skipped away to win by a length and 3/4 with a final panel of 26 and 3. And that was after suffering her very first loss of the season. So she comes into this evening's program to the third race tonight, Peter, undefeated in this Indiana Sire Stakes series.
Now, I'm with you. I think this is the horse to beat, obviously, and I'll be shocked if you get 6-5. I think it's going to be a lot lower than that. However, if you want to try to beat Something to Me, I think is going to be sitting hopefully with cover behind, and we'll just see if John DeLong can get a nice little slingshot move.
And that's actually the filly that I have picked on top here for the upset. Trying to pull off the upset here in the third race. I do like Something to Me. As we just saw there, she was second. She was the bridesmaid. She's won half of her 10 starts. In fact, she's been off the board just twice in 10 tries. John DeLong is back in the sulk again for trainer Mike Arnold. I like Something to Me. Post position is the key here, although post 7 certainly is not the most favorable position to be starting from. We go to the fourth race then. The fourth race, the 2-year-old trotting Colts and Geldings, a field of 10, obviously, and it's been a lot of fun watching these youngsters throughout the course of the season, Peter. And I talked about this earlier on the night drive with Emily Gask and Dan Shetler, talking to him early this season, way back in it might have been April or May. Said, I've got a nice 2-year-old colt. If he behaves himself and he puts everything together, he's going to be a nice colt. Well, he has turned out to be the prophet, if you will. He's known as the bishop, but now he's the prophet because he said Breckenridge could be a nice colt, and he has turned out to be just that. He's put together 4 consecutive wins here. He's only lost, 3 times in 8 tries thus far.
The last time I was here, or I should say the first time I was here about 10 years ago, I got to see Dan Shetler with his young horses. And I saw right off the bat, here's a guy who takes the extra time,
yes,
very good with the babies, and he's proved it consistently. Coming off the bench, I know he had his injury, but now he is up and raring to go. And from Los Angeles, I've been watching this horse, and I've been impressed every time.
And that's why Mr. Shetler was the first trainer for the famed Castleton Farms many years ago. Obviously, he has applied his trade here at Hoosier Park for the last number of years. And this colt here, by class included, second crop of class included. What makes it even sweeter is he is a homebred. And this colt early on was a bit cantankerous, throwing in some extra steps there. But the last number of starts now, he has really stayed on course, stayed on task. Post position is key here for Breckenridge. I've got him picked right on top.
Like him a lot. I've got him second. I think, to me, Brookview Bolt is the horse that I think could be one. Now, obviously, this is a horse who's Breeders' Crown eligible, and I know they would like to have the night a big one. And when you think of big races and big shots, you can't think any more than the mighty Ron Burke barn.
Swing for the Fences and All the Truth, the other two that are Breeders' Crown eligible. For a bit of a price shot, I do like Illini Earl with driver Trace Tetrick, and he knows this horse, knows him well. This trotter has scored in 55 and 1 earlier. Last time out from post time was third, but again, Tetrick knows this horse and knows what he's capable of doing, and he may not be very big, but he's got a big motor. Illini Earl, maybe for a bit of a price in that fourth race. We go to the 8th race then for the 3-year-old pacing fillies, and it's a field of 10, obviously, going here for $270,000. Incidentally, all participants get a check this evening. Those finishing 6th through 10th take home $4,000. That's not something you hear much in harness racing action, but everybody goes home with a ribbon tonight, some with a bigger ribbon.
And that's why we love coming to Hoosier Park.
So in the 8th race tonight, the three-year pacing fillies, a filly that has really stepped up her game just the last, 3-4 starts or so, Grace Rocks. Here again is a filly that probably is the filly to beat, draws the dreaded post 9.
You're seeing a lot of that tonight, and you and I have
Oh,
been
luck
discussing.
of the draw.
That's what it is, you know. I mean, some tracks, sometimes you kind of expect that's what you're going to get, but in this case, it's just the way it went tonight. But I'll tell you something. The really exciting story, not only for this horse, is what they have been accomplishing here for the Dillon Barn, but the fact that young Joey Putnam has really, if you look at where he was last year as a driver, learning his trade, and where he is now, it is leaps and bounds. And I'm predicting Joey might win 1, maybe even 2 tonight of these big races.
2. He, of course, is the son of Joe and Lisa Putnam. You can see in the driving styles of young Joey, you can see his father. One thing about this young man, he obviously has been taught well. He has listened well. He's cut his teeth on the Indiana Fair circuit, which I think is a great place to start, and then has slowly progressed here at Hoosier Park. He's a very patient driver. He can be aggressive as well, and stays out of trouble. And for a race like this evening, that's the key. Stay out of trouble. Make sure that you're at the right spot at the top of the stretch, because you've got a quarter of a mile to get the job done. This filly here, however, likes to race up front. Last week, I thought he drove a very smart race. He got away 3rd, and then when they went onto the backside, what did he do? He tipped her out, went right to the lead. The game was over, and again, that's where she needed to be. She was the heavy favorite in that last start.
Well, it's also one of those situations, and you've seen it plenty of times, and you've called plenty of these races, when you see a horse take back that normally you're expecting to be on the lead, and they find that they have another gift in their bag of tricks. This really makes them even tougher of an opponent, because it means that hopefully the post position is not going to be a detriment like it might be for horses who have one way of racing.
She had a very good 2-year-old campaign, but again, got off to a very rocky start this year, but she has put it all together. The light bulb came back on again after being dimmed early on in the season, and she comes in at the top of her game this evening. Another filly that has been a joy to watch, that's the 3 Somebody's Lily.
Absolutely.
Eli Swartz, the breeder, the owner, and trainer. Here's a one-man show, if you will, that has had a lot of fun this year. This filly draws post 3 this evening, and she is a high turn of speed type of a filly, has a mark of 150. My coasting of the sulky, and post position key here for that filly.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Michael Osting, as we've discussed before, such a large part of the Chicago racing era of the last couple of decades. He's adapted very well in this colony. This horse, again, last couple of races, maybe not the winning caliber, but still was showing a little bit of fight. Hopefully, as we've pointed out before with these standard breds, you can't win them all. And sometimes you're just kind of getting yourself ready. You want to peak at the right time.
Right.
And to me, if Grace Rocks for any other reason falters, I'm with you here, Steve. I think this is the horse most likely to get it.
This is a nice group of fillies. It really, really is. And again, they were pretty even keel until the last number of weeks. Grace Rocks, in my opinion, has kind of risen to the top here. But again, post 9 could be a bit of a detriment there. One division that I think has really been interesting to watch as well are the 2-year-old trotting fillies. There's a filly in the 9th race that, in my opinion, has really stepped up to the top here and done it very quickly, and that's Shirley Goodness. Race 9, she starts from post 4, and the filly coming in with 3 consecutive wins, rather. She's won 4 of her last 5, and here again is another filly that seemingly has put it all together, but we can thank trainer Melanie Wren and driver Peter Wren for that. This team, in my opinion, one of the best teams in Indiana in getting, as you mentioned before, picking your spots and knowing what the end goal is, and having their horses peaked at the right time. They are outstanding at doing just that.
Well, and what I like about them, and I've been reading up a lot recently about the Wrens, they don't try to make excuses if a horse doesn't do what a lot of people are hoping they'll do in a particular race. More times than not, they will mention with a young horse, maturity can be a factor.
Right.
Sometimes they're big, and as we all know, big horses when they're young sometimes have to grow into it, and they have their aches and pains along the way. Also, with a lot of cases, you go as a champion, a 2-year-old, there's no guarantee you're going to be a champion as a 3-year-old.
Exactly. This filly, Shirley Goodness, snagged out of the Lexington sale last year by co-owner Brad Maxwell as he stuck his toe, if you will, into the Indiana program for the very first time. And he comes out what looks to be the top filly in the state here with his first Indiana sired trotter. Now, this filly had a full sibling just last week, I believe it was, $87,000. So they stepped up their game. Not sure where she went, but this filly here by Swan for All from a credit winner mare has certainly been a joy to watch as a 2-year-old. And again, hats off to the Wrens with an outstanding job of managing this filly and having her at the right spot at the right time. She is, in my opinion, the filly to beat in the 9th race.
I would have to concur with you there, Doctor, but I also think there's a couple other horses that you have to give due respect to. The one Swift Swanda to the inside for Irv Miller. Irv, I mean, talk about horsemen. Irv is at the top of the heap with most of them here. You look at this horse, good spot. Trace Dietrich gets the call. Top right now, the Indiana sire standings for these 2-year-old fillies. Last couple of races, not what we were expecting to see. Obviously, a rough gate last time out. You never want to see that with the trotters, but I think that whatever was not working that day, hopefully they've got it taken care of, and I would not discount this one. I think if you're playing tonight with some exotics, you must include.
Oh, no kidding. And the filly just out of the blue went off running last week. Certainly took everyone by surprise.
Just don't see that with her.
She was. You don't see that with this filly, and she was the better choice, so obviously big disappointment for all her backers. They're 5-1. Might be a little bit large there. I expect this filly to be bet down a little bit more than that with Trace aboard and drawing post 1. We go to the 11th race then for the 3-year-old trotting fillies, and a nice matchup throughout the course of the season for this division. It was either Rock Swan or May Baby or Rock Swan. And tonight in the 11th race, 6-5 morning line favorite. Wouldn't you know?
What a
Post
shock.
9. What a shock.
You knew I was laughing for a particular reason. It seems like every single one of them. They're both obviously Breeders' Crown eligible.
Right.
Yoder, when you think of the trotters, the Yoder family to me is second to none. But there's Irv Miller again, and he's sitting there with Rock Swan, who I would have to say gets the tactical advantage drawing that inside post.
No question.
James Yoder, to me, again, Verlin has always blown me away. I've always thought a master with the trotting, but I've noticed over the last year or two, James is also catching my eye.
And this filly here comes in with a very impressive winning streak. She's won 6 of 9. They tried the Hamiltonian. Hats off to them. She won no part of the East Coast. And
no, she didn't.
With the Meadowlands, she came right back, picked up right where she left off, and this filly has been nothing short of amazing. Post 9, I'm not really too concerned about that. I think May Baby is the one to beat here, coming off of a $225,000 2-year-old campaign. So the 12th race, we'll see the 2-year-old pacing colts and geldings. The 11 and the 12, of course, are out. And here in the 12th race, a little bit of a different story. This is, in my opinion, kind of a deep group, although what's your beef? The morning line favorite at 9-5 is not going to be a picnic here for this colt by the first crop of J.K. End of an Era. Here's a colt that folks in their discussion about this colt, did you look at him last year at the yearling sale? No, I did, or yes, I did. He was the big colt. The big colt. He's known as the big colt last year at the Hoosier Classic sale. He was a monster. And boy, I tell you what, Brian Brown was not afraid of the size of this young yearling. Last year, he purchased this colt for $24,000. He's sitting comfortably right now at $113,000 in earnings.
Yeah, and I'm looking at him and saying he's going to be very tough. Obviously, he's become very, very tactical. He doesn't have to have the lead. I think he prefers to be there, but it doesn't have to be. But I agree with you, Steve. I have the horse in the top 4. I got him second, but I didn't put him on top just because there is so much talent in this race. Virgo, obviously, Tim Tetrick and Dylan Davis doesn't always win races, but seems to be right there. You look at the 9-horse, J.K. Going West, Luane Miller. I would love to see Luane get the money here from that outside post, but the horse I put on top, and it's deservedly so, is the Tyler George Chain Brookview Bullet, the 4-horse. If you take out that last race, this horse gets a post position relief, gets back to where that's a lot more comfortable. Ronnie Wren Jr. in town to drive this one. I love what I'm seeing here, and congratulations out to Tyler George. I wasn't here when he did it, but congratulations for him and his whole family to get that 1,000th win.
And unlike maybe some of the other races earlier in the evening where those winners may be able to just outpower their opponents, I think it's going to come down to tactics. It's all going to be down to the trip and the drive in this 12th race because, again, I think there's 4 colts in this race that certainly belong on the ticket. Virgo being one of those. Tim Tetrick has driven this one the last several starts now. Brookview Bullet, as you mentioned. What's Your Beef? J.K. Going West, drawing the tough outside post. But if things really get heated up, that's the colt you have to watch. J.K. Going West. Lil Miller, one of the most patient drivers here at Hoosier Park. And if things unfold in his favor, he'll have this colt at the right spot at the right time at the top of the stretch. So we go to the 13th race then for the 3-year-old trotting colts and geldings, and Emmatown Bud has been quite a story here. This one, of course, named after the late Bud Hostetler of Topeka, or of Emmatown rather, and hence the name Emmatown Bud. Here's a little pint-sized package that has quite the attitude and has really solidified himself, although he does show an occasional break, and that has to be concerning for his connections.
That's always concerning, not only for the connections, but concerning for the players. I don't like to see it when it's frequency, because more times than not, it's not physical, it's a mental thing. Now, It may not be the case with this one, but it always makes me a little concerned. I'm not going to call it the house horse, but you know where I'm going with this one. I like Bluebird Deacon. Jay Cross, the conditioner, he has been driving this horse the whole time. A little surprised when I saw that, but the simple fact is, if you can get Tim Tetrick, you get Tim Tetrick.
It's all about giving the horse the best chance that you can give him, and when you can add a Hall of Famer onto this colt here, and if he's available, why not?
I tip my cap to the trainer. I think that's a very classy move on his part.
And here's another that has been pointed to Friday night, October 16th. It's all about this evening, and this colt is ready. His last start, in my opinion, was bar none the most impressive yet. In his 14 starts, he did not race as a 2-year-old. And if you're looking for some value, I'm with you, man. Bluebird Deacon for maybe just a bit of an upset. We'll see what happens.
All I can say is I can't talk to you up close and personal. Hopefully, social distance, 6 feet away. I'm talking to a cross after that race.
That would make my day. So the 14th race, we wrap up the $250,000 Super Finals 14th race with a 3-year-old pacing colts and geldings. And talking about being able to overpower his opponents, odds on Osiris, I think, could do just that here in the 14th race. Not only with just his amazing speed, but he's a massive looking colt. It's a rocking image from a very, very good bred Some Beach Somewhere mare by the name of Antigua Hanover. Merle Swartz, the breeder of this colt, bought this mare out of the Delaware sale many years ago. There were an abundance of Indiana breeders there that day to buy that mare. Merle Swartz had the last bid, and the last laugh as well.
He took wherever he has to go. He's a grand circuit type of horse. Anywhere he's had to go, he's brought his A game with him. As you mentioned again, sounds like a broken record. Tip of the cap to the Wrens. They have done an amazing job with this horse. Peter was interviewed in an article I read, and he said, bringing up the fact again about that, what they do from a 2-year-old to 3-year-old, it is not hurt this horse one bit. It's one of those exceptions to the rule. But again, just congratulations to them on a masterful job of getting this horse ready.
So let's watch the last race from post 11, mind you now. Second tier post 11, a lot of traffic to overcome. And here he is at the top of the stretch on the top of the field. Northern Cadillac to the outside to 5th. The Candyman Can shuffled and blocked in 6th. Straight up Cool to the outside. At 3/4 and 122. Into the stretch. It's Odds On. Osiris leading for home. Caribbean Escape. Angles off his back, but he's 2 lengths off the leader. To the inside. Racing in 3rd. It's Sawyer's Desire, and always in again. Odds on Osiris, inching away from the field. He's out by 3. To the inside, Sawyer's Desire into the passing lane, but Odds on Osiris with broken equipment. Home a winner in 1:49.3. That was a new lifetime best, which to me was shocking because this colt again has been racing at all the big dances and has been doing very well. That it took to his last start to lower his mark under 150 in that 1:49.3 with a broken head pole. Head pole was dangling off to the side. Didn't seem to bother the colt at all.
When you're good, you're good. That's all I'm going to say.
Post position 4 tonight will certainly work to his advantage here for driver Peter Wren. Wish we'd had more time. I would love to handicap the rest of the night here, but again, we have the experts here this evening, Peter Lurie, and Peter
I wish
Gabe
I was
Pruitt.
Peter Wren.
There we go. And Gabe Pruitt, you'll be handicapping these races throughout the course of the evening. We've got 5 $100 win bets, mega bets that we'll be drawing for at and announcing at 7:15, I believe.
7:15. There's 5 $100 mega bets, and there'll be a race of your choice. The winners will have 30 minutes. I'll be making the announcement down in the winner's circle. You will have 30 minutes to claim your prize at Trackside Caesars Rewards. So don't be one of those people, I've heard them before, who say, yeah, but I don't want to hear it. You hear your name, come a running.
Enter at the Trackside promotional kiosks, and you have until 7 o'clock to do that. So you've got 35 minutes. Again, no excuses. All you got to do is enter, and then if we draw your name, you'll have 30 minutes to claim your prize at Trackside Caesars Rewards, and you'll have a $100 win bet to put on any horse of your choice on the 15 race card this evening. Well, Peter, it's been great. Looking forward to this evening, a 15 race card. And again, for those of you who have just arrived, welcome. We do have a scratch of the yearly double. Race 2, the 2 custom can tab is out. So that is the only change in the double this evening. For Peter Lurie and everyone else, thanks for joining us on this Hoosier Champions Night 2020. Wishing you the very best of luck. And again, for those participants, those horsemen that have been pointed to this night, best of luck to you as well.
What's your last name? Elsmore. Elsmore. Ready? 3, 2.
Beeler J. Elsmore with the call to post for the first of the evening. Indiana Sire Stakes consolation for the 3-year-old Pacing Fillies, $25,000 purse. The one is Odds on Medicine, owned by Odds on Racing, Peter Wren. 2 Classic Country, Anthony Lombardi and George Gomez of Illinois, the owners, Andy Miller drives. 3 Tell It To Me Now, owned by Ron Phillips and John Carver of Illinois with Matt Kruger aboard. The 4 Foxy Rigger, owned by the Country Club Acres, L&H Management Services, Lombardo, Green Racing, and Timothy Lane of Ohio, Trace Tetrick. 5 Baby Let's Roll, Tom Weagle, the owner, Joey Putnam driving. 6 MJ's Riggins Rebel, Mike Hollenbach, and Jeremy Bybee, the owners, James Yoder drives. 7 Mama Moonshine, owned by Norman Miller, Stormin Norman, Nathan Yoder, and LNS Racing of Anderson, Lowayne Miller aboard. The 8 is Western Sierra, John Barnard, the owner, Sam Widger. And the 9 is a Tory to Tell, owned by Paula Smith and James Runyon with Linwood Romano, Mike Osting of the Sulky, Exacta Trifecta, Superfecta, and Early Double Wagering. 1 minute. Starter calls. They're at the gate. Gate is moving. Three of the pacing fillies lining up, moving in. Approaching the start. It's post time at Harrah's Hoosier. Champions Night 2020 is underway. From the center of the track, Foxy Rigger is first to go. Odds on Madison to the inside. And it's Western Sierra from the outside, showing early speed. Classic Country coming away fourth. Fifth and Part, it's Mama Moonshine. And down to the inside, Tell It To Me Now. Baby Let's Roll coming away third last. MJ's Reagan's Rebel is eighth, and the early trailer as they race into the first turn. It's a Tory to tell. 26-1 hot first quarter here, set by Tetrick and Foxy Rigger as they lead a length, but ranging up on the outside. Classic Country and Andy Miller on the move early, and Classic Country up to engage Foxy Rigger as they head over towards the half. Odds on Madison meantime sits on the back of Foxy Rigger. She in turn then is followed closely by Western Sierra as the new leader emerges on top here. It's Classic Country at the half and 54-1. Classic Country by a length. Foxy Rigger to the inside. Odds on Madison now blocked. Mama Moonshine is out and on the attack for Miller. Back of the inside, it's Western Sierra moving with cover. Baby Let's Roll followed by MJ's Reagan's Rebel and a Toy to Tell from last now as they circle the far turn. It's Classic Country to the inside. Mama Moonshine there on the outside, matching strides with the leader, but just off the battling leaders. Baby Let's Roll. Joey Putnam in a good spot there. Three-quarter time, 1:23-2. Into the stretch, they make the turn. Mama Moonshine has a short lead, and Baby Let's Roll off her back. MJ's Reagan's Rebel down to the inside. Foxy Rigger now less than an eighth. Here comes MJ's Reagan's Rebel, and between horses, Baby Let's Roll. Odds on Madison with late room. It's a cavalry charge to the wire. Down to the line. Too close to call. 152-4, and we're off to the races. Unofficial winner number 6, MJ's Reagan's Rebel. Second of 5, Baby Let's Roll. Third, number 8, Western Sierra. Fourth of 1, Odds on Madison. 6581. Please hold all tickets until those numbers are official. Returning at trackside to the winner's circle, unofficial winner, number 6, MJ's Reagan's Rebel. A homebred filly, 3-year-old daughter of Reagan's out of Glowing by No Nukes. Mike Hollenbach of Converse and Jeremy Bybee of Anderson, the owners. Mike Hollenbach trains James Yoder, the winning driver. Her second win of the season, equaling her 2-year-old mark. Winning here tonight in 152-4. The first race is official. Upcoming second race, scratch the 2, Custom Cantab. She is under the weather. Custom Cantab out of the second. As a result, no superfecta wagering in race 2. MJ's Reagan's Rebel paying $34.60 to win, $19.20 to place, and $6.20 to show. The exacta $413.80. First race results from the top of the programs. Odds on Madison 4, Classic Country 8, Tell It To Me Now 9, Foxy Rigger 7, Baby Let's Roll 2, MJ's Reagan's Rebel the winner. Mama Moonshine 5, Western Sierra 3, A Tory to Tell 6. Recheck from the top, 4, 8, 9, 7, 2, 1, 5, 3, and a 6.
Well, good evening, everybody, and welcome on behalf of everyone here. The big Champions Night here at Harrah's Hoosier Park. I'm very, very excited. I'm Peter Lurie, and I am going to be here tonight with Gabe Pruitt and Rick Moore, and we'll be handling all the duties for this 15-race card. A lot of things to look at. Champions Night, the Super Finals, we have them all night long. Some champion racing and a lot of implications towards what is Breeders' Crown. We got some for you players also. We've got ourselves a $10,000 guaranteed Hoosier High Five. That'll be in race number 14. Actually, it's been upgraded to 15,000, we're being told, for the Hoosier High Five. Also, we got a mega bet drawing going tonight. You have to enter a trackside promotional kiosk from 6 to 7. So if you're on track, you better get over there quickly if you want to be part of this. 5 lucky winners are going to have an opportunity at a $100 mega bet, which you'll be able to bet to win on any other race the rest of the night. I'll be making the announcement. Once I make the announcement, you have got 30 minutes, not 31, not 32. You got 30 minutes. So if you're late, you can't come in and say, but you missed. But for the rest of you, you got a big chance for a $100 mega bet. So let's get that money together. We got plenty of stuff going on tonight. On behalf of everyone here at Harrah's Hoosier Park, welcome to a Champions Night on a Friday.
2.
With the call to post, horses on the track. Race 2. Indiana Sire Stakes finals for the older trotting mares. A field of 5 remaining, with the 2 being a scratch. The purse of $70,000. 1, a Breeders' Crown eligible Grand Swan. Home of the Never Too Late stable. Grand Swan Racing. Bruce Salisbury and Dr. Alan Wiesenberg of Ohio. Wayne Miller driving. 2 is scratched. 3 more airtime. Now by James Moore of Concord, North Carolina. Jack Parker Jr. in the drive. The 4 Compelling, a Breeders' Crown eligible, owned and driven by Verlin Yoder. The 5 E.R. Kim Donesh drives for the H Racing stable. And the 6 Pink Tulip over the Lone Star stables of Syracuse. Dug right out to the sulky exacta and a trifecta wagering. No superfecta wagering available with the 2 scratched. 1 minute. They're at the gate. Gate is moving. Top of the stretch. Here they come. And they're off, and more airtime, wasting no time to take the lead as she trots right out. Taking command 2. Grand Swan to the inside, comes away second. Compelling takes a quick seat in third. And E.R. Kim looks to follow suit and fill the gap there in the fourth. Pink Tulip, the early trailer as they line up into the first turn. Jack Parker has more airtime out there by some 3 lengths as they trot over to the quarter-mile marker. 28-1 for the opening quarter time. It's more airtime. The air zoomed Lindemere leading the way to the backstretch. Then it's Grand Swan, the Indiana champion, there in the inside is second with a gap of 3.5 lengths for the back two. Compelling third. E.R. Kim trots second last and fourth. Pink Tulip is at the back. Racing over towards the half, more airtime. Has led from the outset. She still leads there by 3.5 lengths. Grand Swan and Miller patiently waiting there on the inside, biding their time as they pass the half. 56-2 more airtime. Wide into the turn. Grand Swan to the inside. It trots in second. Compelling is another 3.5 back in third with E.R. Kim and the long shot Pink Tulip. Uneventful mile thus far as they circle the turn, arriving at the 3/4 mile marker. More airtime, still 3.5 lengths on Grand Swan. Now 4 back to Compelling. Past 3/4 and 124-4. More airtime into the stretch, and here comes Grand Swan. And Grand Swan powers up alongside the laboring leader. Compelling still back 4 lengths is third. E.R. Kim down along the pylons with Pink Tulip. But it's Grand Swan who takes over with less than a 16th to go. And Grand Swan will trot away, opening up Grand Swan in front in 153-3. More airtime finishes second. Compelling, and E.R. Kim with Pink Tulip. Unofficial winner, the 1 Grand Swan. Second, number 3, more airtime. Third, the 4 Compelling. Fourth, the 5 E.R. Kim. 1, 3, 4, 5, 6 unofficial. The second is official. Upcoming a third race. The 11 and 12 have been scratched. Race 3 starts the pick 4. Back to the Victory Hill Farms winner's circle. Victory Hill Farms, where the road to victory begins. It's Grand Swan. From the Victory Hill sire, Swan for All, out of Queen Mum by Giant Hit, was bred by Larry Miller Jr. Is owned by the Never Too Late stable of New York. Grand Swan Racing of Anderson, Bruce Salsby, and Dr. Ellen Wiesenberg of Ohio. Lorraine Miller trains and drives. Her third seasonal victory. Trotting in 153 and 3. Grand Swan returning $5. 20 cents to win, $2.60, $2.10. The exacta, $15.80. Trifecta, $19.40. Early double 6-1, $90.20. Top down, 1 scratched, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Third race kicks off the pick 4 here on Hoosier Champions Night at Harrah's Hoosier Park. What a card we've got for you. Just getting started. It gets better and better. And it's starting with better and better. We're getting into the third race, and we're into the first Indiana Sire Stake Final, $270,000. 2-year-old fillies, super final. And I'm not crazy about the post position, but I'm crazy about the horse. My single in the third race, number 9, Something Beautiful. 8 starts, 7 wins, 1 second. That second was maybe one of her most impressive races in the $220,000 Kentuckiana Stakes here at Harrah's Hoosier Park. This horse finished second to a champion New York State filly. Something Beautiful has done nothing wrong, comes off a A nice victory at 3-5 last week in the last leg of the Sire Stakes. She's cleaned up on the Sire Stake, the board. It just keeps on going, keeps on going. Number 9, Something Beautiful. Like I said, don't like the post position, but love the horse. She's my single in the 3rd race. In the 4th race, going to use 3 horses. These horses have been trading blows with one another. We'll start with my first choice in the 4th race. Number 2, Breckenridge. 4 races in a row, 4 wins in a row for Breckenridge. Really has found his stride. Trained by Dan Shetler and driven by Dan Shetler. 8 starts, 5 wins, 1 second, over 100,000 in earnings so far. Tried it to a nice victory at 5-1, almost 6-1 last week here at Harris Hoosier Park. Breckenridge, got to like him. Also going to go with number 5, Bridge to Success. Here's a horse that I think is getting better and better. Before last week, this horse was second, and third, and then tried it to a nice win at 2-5 in the Sire Stake action, leg 6, big trotting mile, 156 flat. Before that, it had gone in 55 and change against Breckenridge and the other horse that we're going to talk about in just a minute, and that would be number 6, Brookview Bolt. 9 starts, 4 wins, 3 seconds and a third. Was second to Breckenridge last week. Went off 1-2 favorite in that race, but could not get by Breckenridge. Looks to turn the tables on Breckenridge this evening. Brookview Bolt. I think it's they've started quite a rivalry between the two of them, but I think Bridge to Success might have something to say about that rivalry tonight. So in the 4th race, it's the 2, 5, and 6. In the 5th race, going to go with 2 horses. Going to start with number 2. Tell me about it. Tell me about it. Yeah, I'll tell you about it. Tell me about it. 13 starts, 3 wins, 3 seconds, 3 thirds, almost 50,000 in earnings to go with the 269 this gelding earned last year. A nice win last week at 1-5. Tell me about it. Getting better and better, I do believe. Was in the Invitational here 3 weeks ago. Finished second there in 48 and change. This horse is really, really pacing at the top of his game right now. Gets a great 2-hole starting position. Pete Wren drives. Tell me about it. 8-5 in the morning line, and I can see why. Also going to use the 5 horse, Sham Wow. Sham Wow, second to Tell Me About It last week. Went off 5-2. Found himself 7 lengths back at the half-mile pole. Started coming. Was grinding. Just couldn't quite get to him. He'll see if he can change the outcome here tonight. In the 5th race, it's number 2, Tell Me About It, and number 5, Sham Wow. Horses are getting ready to come onto the track for introductions and post-parade. We'll come back and take a look at race 6 and complete our analysis of the pick 4 in just a minute.
Coming to you in 3, 2.
Trio the pacing fillies on the track. Hoosier Park Post Parades presented by Diamond Creek Farm. Indiana Sire Stakes. It's a $270,000 super final. Field of 10 at 1 mile. The one is DP Spooky Tooth. Daughter of Tell It Like It Is over the Diamond DP Standardbreds of Kendallville. Doug right out driving. 2, Martha Big Rig by Riggins over James and Cheyenne Yoder of Bell, Florida. James Yoder aboard. 3, JK She's Gorgeous, a Breeders' Crown eligible daughter of First Crop sire JK and Avenera. By Guy Enterprises of Chicago, George Gomez of Oak Brook, Illinois, and the Henshot Stable of Montgomery. Mike Osting drives. The 4, Bocce, Breeders' Crown eligible daughter of Rock and Image. Held by Rocco Ruffalo, Craig Henderson, and the OB Stables, Ricky McCumber. 5, Skyway Brittany by Rock and Image, owned by Zach Dessa Miller, Ronnie Wren Jr. driving. The 6, GD Rockin' K, Breeders' Crown eligible daughter of Rock and Image, owned by the Angold Stable of Illinois. Andy Bollinger, the Henshot Stable, and George Gomez, Trace Tetrick driving. 7 is Something to Me by J.K. and Avenera, Steve Huffman Jr. of Lindstrom, Minnesota, the owner, John DeLonga. The 8 is Uncut Gem by J.K. and Avenera, Steve Amspaugh, John Taylor, and Erica Demelin, the owners, Joey Putnam driving. 9 is Something Beautiful, Breeders' Crown eligible daughter of Always a Virgin, owned by Taylor, Gold, Bazin, and Lombardo. Tim Tetrick drives. And the 10 is Hot Mess Express from the second crop of Panther Hanover, owned by Sam Bowie of West Palm Beach, Florida. Andy Miller is in the sulky. Horses 11 and 12 have been scratched. Exacta, trifecta, superfecta. It's the start of the Pick 4.
Race 6, the 4th leg of the Pick 4 concludes, obviously, the Pick 4. Going to use 3 horses in here. This is a consolation for horses not quite good enough to make the top tier race, but in here we've got 10 nice horses. Going to use 3 of them. Starting with number 2, Velocity Gator. Been down at the Red Mile the last 3 weeks, finished second 3 weeks in a row. Hard to believe this horse hasn't broken his maiden yet, but does have 4 seconds. Gets a great starting position, the 2-hole tonight, in with the type of horses he can compete with, and I think might even be able to beat. Also going to use number 4, Roll 'em. They've been competing in Sire Stake eligible races when it was in that leg 6 Sire Stakes last week and had a nice 4th place finish. Roll 'em looks to be getting better and better. 10 starts, 2 wins, a second, 2/3. Again, a nice horse that's not quite good enough for the top tier, but this is a very nice horse nonetheless. And then number 7, the favorite, morning line favorite, Jules Virgin. He's got 2 wins out of 8 starts. Won a numbers of 1 final 2 weeks ago. Was in the Sire Stakes leg 6. Last week went off 12-1, finished 4th. Only got beat 3 lengths. Will probably be the favorite in here. Comes out of the Ron Burke barn, and John DeLong drives. So my Pick 4 looks like this. It's only a $9 ticket. In the 3rd race, it's a single, number 9, Something Beautiful. 1 to 5 as we look at the tote board. The 4th race, 2, 5, and 6. 5th race, 2 and 5. 6th race, 2, 4, 7. Good luck on Hoosier Champions Night.
They'll be at the gate momentarily. Horses approaching the starting gate. $2.4 million on the line this evening here at Harrah's Hoosier in Hoosier Champions Night 2020. Two to pacing fillies, a field of 10 now line up behind the gate for the start of the third. Approaching the start, here they come. And they're off and pacing fast off the gate. It's GD Rockin' K, Skyway Brittany from the center of the track, Martha Big Rig to the inside, and Something to Me from the outside. DP Spooky Tooth is away fifth, Something Beautiful on the outside, with Hot Mess Express next in the seventh as they charge into the first turn. Down on the inside, JK, She's Gorgeous, racing eighth, and it's Bocce in ninth, and Uncut Gem trailing. 27 won the opening quarter, and Something to Me and John DeLong making the front here, clearing by two as they step on to the backstretch. GD Rockin' K to the inside, racing along in second. Skyway Brittany is next in third. Martha Big Rig is a fourth. And here comes the Hall of Famer Tim Tetrick with Something Beautiful from fifth. She's now fourth, now third, now second, and Something Beautiful sweeping up on the outside. Challenging Something to Me as they pass the half in 56 and 4. Something Beautiful has just cleared to the lead as they step into the far turn. Something to Me to the inside, racing in second. GD Rockin' K is third. Racing fourth then as they enter the bend, it's Skyway Brittany, and Hot Mess Express is out and underway from fifth. Martha Big Rig shuffle back to sixth. Bocce to the outside seventh. Uncut Gem moving from last now as they arrive at the three-quarter mile marker. Something Beautiful is their first in 125. They make the turn. Something Beautiful leads for home. GD Rockin' K is at her wheel in second. Something to Me gapping the leader on the inside to third, and Hot Mess Express contender to the outside. Skyway Brittany angles out fifth. They've less than a 16th to go. Something Beautiful leads for home. Hot Mess Express is the last one to challenge to the wire. Something Beautiful sweeps the Indiana Sire Stakes Series, winning the super final in 151 and 4. Unofficial winner, the 9, Something Beautiful. Second, the 10, Hot Mess Express. Third to the 5, Skyway Brittany. And fourth, the 7, Something to Me. 9, 10, 5, 7, unofficial.
Truck up, grab my coffee, kiss my baby, got on my way, 'cause I
Returning at trackside to the Victory Hill Farms winner's circle. In a clean sweep of the Indiana Sire Stakes Series, the trio de fillies Something Beautiful overcoming a tough outside post position this evening, post 9, to win her 8th in 9 seasonal starts, scoring in a record equaling time of 151 and a 4. A daughter of always a virgin out of Summer and Sand by Sand Shooter. She was bred in Goshen, Indiana by Aaron Stutzman. Is owned by the partnership of Taylor, Gold, Bazin, and Lombardo. Dylan Davis, the trainer. Tim Tetrick, the winning driver. Something Beautiful paying $2.40 to win. 210 and 210. The exacta $11.60, trifecta $186 even. Coming up, race 4. The also eligibles 11 and 12 have been scratched. 4th race starts the early pick 3.
First of our Champions Nights goes to Something Beautiful, and it was Something Beautiful in the trip that this one got. Let's talk to winning driver Tim Tetrick. First of all, Tim, congratulations. I haven't seen you since your Hall induction. Congratulations.
Thank you. It's a pretty cool honor. That's great.
Let's talk about this race. First of all, when you haven't driven a horse who has been around for a while and looks to be in a good spot, do you approach it different than one you're familiar with?
Most definitely, especially a young horse. You know, this 2-year-old, you never know what kind of quirks they have until you really get behind them. I have been lucky enough to watch her a few times, but, you know, I just go off what Dylan says, the trainer, and, you know, I even ask the grooms that are around him every day because they usually got a good idea about him, too.
I know it's a 7/8 track, but still the 9 holes not a great spot, especially for one like this. Did that concern you all going into the race?
Most definitely. You know, again, because I'd never driven the mare before. I've watched her, and, you know, they always told me she's better tracking, but sometimes she, you know, left. I was okay with my spot in the first turn, but when they really started slowing it down, I went ahead and made my move because I figured they'd be waiting for her, and it really worked out.
You looked like it was a bold move coming off that. Tell us about the track tonight. Obviously, they had a little bit of rain last night, but what is your impression of the track this evening?
I mean, that was pretty much a track record for 2-year-old fillies, so I think they're doing their job. The track seems good. It's hard and fast, so you should see some good miles tonight.
All right. Well, Tim, we really appreciate the time. Thank you very much.
Anytime.
Once again,
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Tim Tetrick gets the first of our Champions Night.
Third race results. DP Spooky Tooth 8, Martha Big Rig 9, JK She's Gorgeous 10, Bocce Bocce 6, Scotty Brittany was 3rd, GD Rockin' K 5th, Something to Me 4, Uncut Gem 7, Something Beautiful the winner, Hot Mess Express finished 2nd. Recheck 8, 9, 10, 6, 3, 5, 4, 7, 1, 2.
My grandfather instilled in me that there's no such thing as luck. He said luck is where hard work meets opportunity.
Welcome back, everybody. Hoosier Park, 7 minutes to post for our fourth race coming up with the Champions Night. But before we go any further, it's time for the Mega Bet drawing. You know, if you are selected, and there will be 5 of you, you have 30 minutes from this point to go and claim your prize, a $100 win wager where you can use for all night long. Just figure out which race you want to do. That's the only thing you have to learn, especially if once you have been declared a winner. Let's talk about the folks. Billy Galbraith from Elwood. Billy Galbraith from Elwood, Lawrence Hutton from Anderson. We got an Anderson here. We also have Deborah Nix from Indianapolis, Dennis Stevens from Newcastle, Steve Stoner from Pendleton. So once again, it's Billy Galbraith, Lawrence Hutton, Deborah Nix, Dennis Stevens, Stephanie Stoner. I said Steve, it's Stephanie Stoner from Pendleton. You have 30 minutes to claim your prize at Trackside Caesar Rewards. We got more races coming up, folks. Do not go away. The horses are coming out on the track.
Next up, 2-year-old trotting colts and geldings in Hoosier Champions. A $270,000 super final. One is Christian's Court, a homebred son of Conway Court, owned by Daniel Loniger of Graybill, Spence Taylor driving. 2 is Breckenridge, from the second crop of Class Included, Dan Shetler of Indy, and the Doge Stables of Wilkinville, Indiana, the owners, Dan Shetler drives. 3, Swing for the Fences by Swan for All, owned by David McDuffie and Ellen Elda Visser. Peter Wren driving this Breeders' Crown eligible. The 4 is Flying Swan by Swan for All, owned by Panic Stable of Itasca, Illinois. Tim Tetrick drives. 5, Bridge to Success by Jailhouse Jesse, owned by Bo and Pat, along with Roger Welch, John DeLong aboard. 6 is Brookview Bolt, a Breeders' Crown eligible son of Swan for All, owned by Burke Racing, Knox Services, Jane T. Silver, Perlin and Libby, and Waver Buscemi, Sam Widger driving. 7, Mr. Sunchip by Mr. Cantab, over the Henshot Stable of Montgomery, Lorraine Miller. 8 is Illini Earl, a son of Jailhouse Jesse, owned by Jeff Watt Racing and Brian Carsey, Trace Tetrick aboard. 9 is the Breeders' Crown eligible All the Truth by Swan for All, owned by the OB Stables, Fred Whitmer and Jamie McCumber, Ricky McCumber in the bike. And the 10, King Felix by Pine Credit, owned by Matthew Miller of Millersburg, dug right out in the sulky. 11 and 12 are scratched. Exacta Trifecta, Superfecta, and the start of the early pick 3.
Welcome back, everybody. 2 minutes to post on our Champions Night. And if you're just joining us, where have you been? My partner in crime just coming in from Pompano and parts all around the country, Mr. Gabe Pruitt. Gabe, happy Champions Night.
Thanks a lot, Peter. It's great to be with you here on such a big night. I made myself right at home, by the way. This is pretty comfortable on this couch set. I'm happy.
You look like you're in your college dorm right now.
I'm going to have to get a couple of these down at the Pomp, I think. I'm quite comfortable. Again, happy to be here, though. What a great night. We've already saw our first championship performance here in Race 3. Just a huge night here at Hoosier Park.
Track is playing well, and we've already seen a record time, so something tells me we're going to see a few of those this evening. Let's get to these 2-year-olds. These are Colts and Geldings. These are the trotters, and currently the wagering goes towards the 6 Brookview Bolt. I am not shocked at all. I thought the 3-1 was a bit of a pipe dream.
Yeah, you know, this horse was 50 cents on the dollar last time, Peter, and really took dead aim to Breckenridge. I thought just missed. I thought he was just okay there. I had this as a pretty wide open affair, so it's not the type of race that I wanted to take a short price in. That's why I did take a swing here to defeat Brookview Bolt, although I did use him second. Very consistent all season long. He's been on the board 8 of 9, first or second, 7 of 9. So obviously a logical contender. I just didn't think he was invincible here this spot tonight.
Well, let's talk about Illini Earl. Junior Haynes sends this one out. Trace Dietrich, the leading driver, gets this 2-year-old Jailhouse Jesse, who's coming off a 3rd-place finish against a similar group back on August 6th. The outside post would have been a concern, but from what you just saw from his brother, I'm not as worried as I was originally.
Yeah, I think Trace's hand is going to be forced here. I think he's going to have to leave the gate in this spot. He comes out of that same mile with the favorite last time, Brookview Bolt. Just okay finishing there, but I really like the starts 2 and 3 back, both convincing wins. He was a favorite. He was well spotted in both of those races, but I think if Illini Earl leaves out, gets some position, he could be at a good spot to possibly pull off an upset here at a double-digit price. Right now, 11-1.
Well, horse in front of us now is the 2 Breckenridge. This is a class-included 2-year-old for Dan Shetler. We talked about on the night drive earlier with Steve Cross, the expertise of Mr. Dan Shetler. He does so well with these young ones.
Yes, he does, and he has done for many years. So a tip of the cap to Dan Shetler and the family there with Breckenridge. And this one pretty special to the family. Peter, he is by class included, as you said. Class included is a brother to Muscle Hill. So we don't see him have a tremendous amount of horses, at least just in terms of volume. But Breckenridge, a very nice colt. I believe Dan actually trained the mare as well, Dazzling Miss. I read some press into this event. He thought that she had some talent. Unfortunately, she was injured very early in her career. She made just $3,000. So Breckenridge he decided to hang on to and keep, and that is a decision that's paid off very well. He arrives here tonight razor sharp. He's won 4 in a row, over $105,000 on the season. I just thought he got away pretty comfortably there last time. I'm not sure things are going to work out that perfect here for the big money on the line tonight, but he'll be forwardly placed. And again, another here with a big chance, 9-2. That's actually a bit higher than I thought he would be. So that may be an overlay in my mind on Breckenridge.
The son of Swan for All in front of us there. Swing for the Fences. Dodgers, are you listening? Melanie Wren, the conditioner here. The Wolf, Peter Wren, gets the call. Just came in from the Red Mile in those stallion races. Kind of even the last 2, but the times were definitely respectable.
Yes, Swing for the Fences is a talented colt. My only concern there, Peter, a lot of times those horses that come back from Lexington, they do get overbet off those big miles on paper. But this guy up there right now at 7-1. That's a very good price on him. Very good company he was keeping there with us during the Grand Circuit action down in Lexington. He finished close there, as you'll see, behind Quattro de Julio and Delayed Hanover, 2 very talented colts. He was very good at the Indiana Sire Stakes circuit prior to that. Again, just a wide open group here, top to bottom, and Swing for the Fences, a major player here at a good price right now.
We just saw the 4 Flying Swan, Gabe. Tim Tetrick looking for back-to-back in these Champion Night races. Jay Cross, the conditioner, he hands the lines over not once but twice this evening to the Hall of Famer.
Yeah, and why not, right? If Tim Tetrick's in town, why would you not put him at the bike? So I think that's a heads-up move from Jay. And this colt's been good all season long. He's been consistent as well. On the board, 9 of 11. Again, maybe just a notch below the top colts here, but not much behind. Again, that driver change going to drive some action his way as well. We'll see if he can step up and hang here with these top-level colts.
Can you make a case for the 9 All the Truth? From the outside post, Breeders' Crown eligible for Jamie McCumber. Ricky McCumber drives.
I see a lot of breaks in stride of the paper, Peter. Tough post tonight. I'm just not sure what to make of his chances. He looks like he is staring at an uphill battle. The horse was a true wild card for me. If you are looking to swing for the fences, so to speak, here the 4th race is a 10 King Felix. He added trotting hobbles prior to that last qualifier. That was a blowout romp. I'm not a huge fan of any trotter from the 2nd tier, but again, the trotting hobble seems to have turned him back in the right direction. So if I was going to swing for a huge long shot, it could be the 10 King Felix.
Thank you, Mr. Pruitt. Horses are coming into line here for our second of the Indiana Sire Stakes, the 2-year-old Colts and Geldings final. These are the trotters, and a 6-5 favorite on the 6 Brookview Bolt. Speaking of a Hall of Famer, at least in my mind, Mr. Steve Cross with the call.
2-year-old trotting Colts and Geldings are all in behind the gate. It's post time for Indiana Sire Stakes. 270,000 on the line. Field of 10. Here they come. And they're off and trotting, and a swing for the fences is fast off the gate. Christian's Court to the inside. Brookview Bolt dashing right out, and out into 4th. It's Breckenridge, but he's gapping early here. Flying Swan looks to drop in behind him and does. King Felix is out in 6th. They trot into the first turn. Bridge to Success is next, and Breckenridge stepping it off. Breckenridge just made a break going into the turn. They reach the first quarter-mile marker, 28-1 for that opening at quarter time. And to the outside, Brookview Bolt, but he's been hard-pressed to clear. Finally makes the front here and takes the lead. Swing for the fences will then yield and follow down the backstretch. Christian's Court back to the inside 3rd. Flying Swan sitting pretty 4th. King Felix on the inside is 5th. Bridge to Success racing in 6th. Illini Earl trots in 7th. Mr. Sunship is next. All the Truth and far back and back trotting then. It's Breckenridge. They reach the half and 57-3. Following Brookview Bolt and Sam Widger, the lead is 2. Swing for the fences, sitting tight there in 2nd. Christian's Court within striking distance 3rd, and coming to the outside, Bridge to Success is underway. They trot the far turn. Off stride in the far turn there was King Felix. But Brookview Bolt has just extended his lead now by 2.5 lengths. Swing for the fences, beginning to gap as Bridge to Success looms into contention to the outside to 3rd. And Illini Earl right there in his back. 3/4 time, 126-4. Into the stretch with Brookview Bolt leading. Bridge to Success still there, threatening on the outside. Swing for the fences, waiting for the inside lane. Shows to have plenty of trot, and from further back comes Flying Swan. Less than a 16th to go. Here's Bridge to Success. Bridge to Success on the outside. Inside Brookview Bolt, it's Bridge to Success in 154-4. Unofficial winner, the 5, Bridge to Success. 2nd, the 6, Brookview Bolt. 3rd, number 3, Swing for the Fences. And 4th, the 4, Flying Swan. 5, 6, 3, 4, unofficial. Well, ladies and gentlemen, he just broke his maiden in his last start in the 6th and final leg of Indiana Sire Stakes Series, winning by 2 1/4 lengths in 156. Tonight's win number 2 in record time, trotting in 154.4. As he grabs the big check in the $270,000 super final. Bridge to Success. A son of Jailhouse Jesse at a Bridge to Nowhere by Angus Hall. He's the little brother of Bridge to Jesse's, who we'll watch a little bit later in the 7th race this evening. That horse closing in on $1 million. Bridge to Success is owned by Bone Patalong and Roger Welch of Wisconsin and Illinois. Roger Welch trains, well driven here by John DeLong. His connections last year at the Hoosier Classic sale, bidding $100,000 and were successful in the purchase of Bridge to Success. Tonight, they hit pay dirt in the super final. It is official. Bridge to Success returns $9.80 to win, $5 and $4, the exact at $27.60. Trifecta $74.40. Superfecta $352.80. Upcoming 5th race, no changes. A late scratch in the 7th race. This evening's 7th race, the 1 B-Bob's Bear. On the advice of the track veterinarian has been withdrawn. 7th race, the 1 B-Bob's Bear has been scratched. Fourth results, Christian's Court 7, Breckenridge 9. Swing for the Fences 3, Flying Swan 4, Bridge to Success the winner. Brookview Bowl 2, Mr. Sunship 5, Illini Earl 6, All the Truth 8, and King Felix 10. Top down 7, 9, 3, 4, 1, 2, 5, 6, 8, and 10. Going to send it momentarily down to the winner's circle. Peter Lurie with winning trainer Roger Welch. Mr. Welch, you only have 2 minutes, sir.
What are you trying to say here? He just won his 4th 2-year-old colt and gelding trot. I'm going to let him talk 2 minutes and 30 seconds. Roger, congratulations. We were just laughing with John DeLong and said the key here is never stop driving, and it paid off.
Yeah. I was very happy. You know, I told John going into the race, I said, this horse has got the freshest legs in the race, and I had all the confidence in the world in the horse. You know, and I told John, I said, just get the job done, you know.
A lot of times, not that this horse has had any problems, rough gaiting or anything, but sometimes they get a little touchy in these situations. What do you do to keep them nice and calm?
Well, he's got the best caretaker in the world, Amy Welch.
Well, that's enough.
So she does her job. Unfortunately, she's back in the paddock with Bridge to Jesse, his older brother, right now. But you know, this horse is a class act. You know, he's a class act. His full brother's almost got $1 million, and you know, I can't say enough about this little colt.
Now, unfortunately, not eligible for the Breeders' Crown, and as you and I were just discussing, it's not like you can supplement. Have you laid out a plan of where you'd like to go next?
Well, he's all done. This was his last start. He's going to go back to Beecher, Illinois, and green grass up over his ankles and have a nice freshening up time.
Roger, we really appreciate it. And I just want, on a second note, want to say, if I ever get to the point I want to retire, hopefully I get to retire there too.
That'll work out.
All right, thank you. Roger Welch, 4 of them, 4 of the champion trotters for the 2-year-olds. We're just getting started. Thanks, buddy. I appreciate it. All
I guess we can do it all, huh?
Fuck it.
Yeah, that's cool.
I should have told you, ask me about the partners. Dude, always. I think you got another one.
Yeah. Well, he can't win. You just saw me the end.
I was going to
see you next year, Pete.
Ruddick Stables invites you to inspect their class of 2020 in the Hoosier Classic Yearling Sale. Included offspring of J.K. Indivenera, Jailhouse Jesse, and Swan for All. The consignment is highlighted by hip 117 Swan Connery. This strong and athletic colt is a half-brother to a 6-figure winner, as well as a filly who took a sub-154 record this year. Be sure to visit them in aisle 23 because in Indiana, if you don't have a Swan for All, you got to beat a Swan for All.
Comes away parked in third. Schnitzel do something down to the inside fourth.